Well, hello everyone. We're back today. We're gonna try Blue White Approach again. This will be day 5 of us playing at Post Ixalan. We've not changed too much with the deck. I've been extremely happy with the sideboard, but in my main deck, I want 4 ops, I want 3 Ascantas, I want 2 Gideons, I want 2 Farm to Markets, I want 2 Settle to Wreckage. There's obviously not enough room for all of those cards. So we're just toying around with the numbers a little here and there on that last little group of cards I said to try to figure out which ones we liked. I saw on a Gabriel Nassif tweet last night where he was asking if ops are good in control decks at all in this format. And several people had responded saying that they didn't think it was, like several very quality players. So I actually shaved an opt for today. I may go back to 3, I may go back to 4, I may go down to 0, but we're going to try it with 2 for today. We're down to 1 Settle to Wreckage. Again, I still really don't like this card. This card's extremely underperformed. But Mono Red just made the finals of an Open and probably had a chance to win that match if he hadn't got mana screwed. So I want at least one more answer to hazard it, and it was between this and the new binding card that stops him from playing additional ones. And I actually think in the end we'll be playing that, but I want to give Settle to Wreckage one more try out of the gate. This will be the 4th league I've played with it, and if it doesn't come up at any point that I want to draw it, like, it'll probably be gone for good. And I think Gideons are a little bit better than Farmer's Market, so if I only have enough room to try one, I'm going to lead with the Gideons. I'm going to try them first. Anyway, we'll jump into the match. And hello, George, and hello, James, and hello, Corey. How are you all doing today? If the answer to that is anything other than wonderful, then you can suck it. Because you should be wonderful at all times. Hey, George, did you hear that Robert Lounsbury passed a hostage taker in draft? He also passed a Death Gorger, which was probably the 2 most broke out cards. What's the card above the negate? Let me go back to look at the list. I think it's the Jace's. Yes, Jace's defeat. That's the only card that I could think of in the sideboard that wasn't. Alright, well, we'll keep. Oh, we won the dice row? I like how I just clicked keep and forgot I'd already won the dice row. So Robbie passed I think it's called Death Gorge Scavenger or something, and a hostage taker. And then bought 5 boxes and doesn't have playsets of them, which kind of amuses me. The Jace's defeat's actually been really good. It can counterspell Torrential Gearhulk, it can counterspell all the other counterspells, it can counterspell Scarab God, which are the things that you care about the most. You can even counterspell card draw if it comes down to it. So our hand's pretty reasonable here. I actually have to set myself a little note here to insult Rob myself. Pull up our great notepad, because that's where all real men keep notes. So James didn't win the draft, but he really won the draft. What is this? This is a little kitty cat, right? Meow meow. If Search for Azcanta wasn't legendary, we would be running 4 of them, 4 of them, 4 of them, 4 of them. I don't think I would play any deck that didn't have 4 of them, no matter what colors it was in the whole format. But there'd just be 4 of them. Just 4 of them and everything. Hell, I might cheat. I put 5 of them. I've not looked at any of the websites today. I basically woke up, took my car to mechanic, come home, finished the league that I was already in, and started a stream. We got crushed by End Boss Andy. Because End Boss Andy has robbed me from like 25 trophies. That's why he's called End Boss. Yeah, I'm down to the only decks that I sideboard search out now is like mono red and like that red green thingy. Hey Sean, welcome to the chat, fam. So there's more things to cycle, so it's better to leave that up. Is it bad that I kind of want both of these cards? Whatever, I'll keep them both. I think they're good. If we don't hit a land drop for the turn, we're going to just slam the Glimmer again main phase to look for a land. We don't have a hard counterspell anyway, so... Oh, well, that changes things. We'll just go ahead and play that. And then we'll go ahead and play the little Gideon too. Could easily have like a cast out or something now, but that's fine because you can only pick one of the 3 permanents that we have in play when they're all relevant. I'm probably not playing this weekend, unfortunately. This week's going to be a hectic week for me. There's not enough hours in the days for me to do everything that I want to do. Yeah, so at least he didn't unlock the cat. How's the frames doing today? Nice, the frames are doing well today. I'm jealous that I can't afford to go to Nationals. I would kill to go to Nationals right now. I guess I wouldn't kill, but I would love to. I guess we want the land. I'm extremely confident in my standard choice. I'd have to take the time to learn to draft, though. I've not drafted this format but once, and I think my deck was a train wreck. Nah. Approach is my deck of choice in standard at the moment. I play other decks on stream as well just because it's to stream, but like if I was playing to win or playing just to make money, Approach is the only deck I'd be considering. But we try to play all the decks on stream. Just keep it a little interesting or whatever. So we definitely want the 7th land. I don't think we care about this cast out. I don't know. I guess we could cast out and get our cast out back and get the Gideon back, but I don't really care about it. So we'll put the cast out on the bottom and the land on top. What are we going to do? A little search for Atlanta? Yes, put the island in the graveyard. And the Supreme Will basically means opponent now only gets 1 more draw step this game. Or sorry, 2 more attack steps. I don't know why I said 1 more draw step. It's just dumb of me. By the way, welcome back. Nah, nope. Oh, we've been hurt. You got us. So, this deck just really excels at beating mid-range green decks in general. So go ahead and mill ourselves for 4 so we can guarantee that we draw approach next turn, while being able to flip Ascanta this turn. I mean, if you're not going to use them, sell them. If you're going to use them, don't worry about what the price is, just keep them. All depends on if you're going to sell or keep them or not, or reuse them or not. The card's probably the most important card in Standard at the moment, but like, you can play Magic without it. That's not that big of a deal. All depends on whether you want to use it or not, man. So we go ahead and put our little Ascanta in our hand. Or not Ascanta in our hand, but our approach in our hand. So we know the approach is in these cards. Any order. Alright. He's done. Yeah, it's pretty safe. I mean, when the mana gets a little worse, say like Kaladesh rotates, well, it'll depend on what kind of mana and mana fetch and stuff like that they are, but like, it's an absurdly powerful card that can be splashed into all the 3-color decks almost for free. And beyond that, just like the blue-black deck itself's good, it plays exceptionally good with Hostage Taker, so it'll probably be fine even if 3-color decks don't exist. But like, there'll probably be some kind of land to make the 3-color decks exist. Alright, so if he's got a bunch of cats, we've got a bunch of cats. That kind of feels fair. Well, I'll just play a bunch of cats. Meow meow. I don't really know what can be in their deck. I have no idea when rotations happen. Ferning. They're different blocks, so maybe that's right. I don't know. I think I'm gonna take the ops out just because I'm wanting to test the deck without the ops anyway. Uh, what's in standard? Let me Google it on the other side. Nope. Kaladesh and Efer Revolt. Looks like they rotate at different times. But I don't know. This has them lists. It says until Q4 of 2018, so I guess they rotate at the same time. So you're probably right. I think this hand's fine. We're on the draw. We have a couple of Scries. We have a Gideon. It seems like you're right. Fair enough. So Scarab God's legal for about another year. It should be a staple that entire year. I can't imagine them printing anything that makes it not a staple. So it really just depends on whether you want to keep playing them or not. I'm probably keeping mine. We feel like we're at least close to the peak, but we might not be exactly at the peak. We're within dollars of the peak. Like, I don't see that card going to no $50 or $60 or anything. Maybe if at Worlds next week, like 16 competitors showed up with 4Xs in their deck or whatever, but it even being a $40 card when it's a 2 to 3X is kind of mind blowing. Little Prowler. Effort Meltdown to the graveyard? Sure. I'd rather find Wraths of some kind. I like how this thing is just like the cattiest snake that's ever a snake that's a cat. Oh, about the list that you sent last night, George, I still just cannot get behind from pull in the deck. I don't view myself as a control deck, so it's hard for me to get behind pull. I think we can keep Glimmer. Kinda don't really want to keep Glimmer, but it might help us find a Wrath. I just don't view myself as a control deck. I've never viewed myself as a control deck. I say it for the sake of argument, but like I've never really fought it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put that in the graveyard. We have a Glimmer to help us find lands, so could have Blossoming Defense or something. We may even protect it with a Supreme Will if he does. Alright, well, he does not have Blossoming Defense. Not having a 40 in the sideboards blows my mind as well. I think Mono Red's popular enough that you need to dedicate those cards, and I would rather have a 40 than Regal Caracol. Like, if I had to pick one of the two for the Mono Red match, I'm picking a 40. But Regal Caracol, I think, is good versus just tons and tons of matches. So, like, I don't want to cut it either. I do want to try that X-Spell you showed me. That X-Spell you showed me is interesting. I think it could do things. That's still a lot of mana, though, and you're going to be wanting using it on the turns that you're needing to play Fumigates and stuff to deal with Hazards. Like, if they just play like a turn 4 Hazard and you play like a turn 4 one of those, right? Like, you gained 8 life, but you didn't really accomplish much. Alright, bottom, looking for a Wrath of God. Found a Wrath of God. Will I put a farmland in the graveyard? Nope. We need our lands. All that value. And he scoops to it. It's probably safe to scoop to this board in this spot with him having one card, but I assume a deck like that would have Heroic Intervention in it and he just didn't draw it. Which is gonna happen sometimes. Man, that'd have been kind of brutal if he did, though. It'd been like really good. He'd be pretty far ahead on the board. Anyway, for the 15 of you, if you like what you're watching, make sure to click follow here on Twitch and to look at the links down below the stream and to find a link to my Twitter where you'll find all the deck lists we play every time we go live. And you'll also find a link to my YouTube where you'll find all of our previous streams. I try to respond to all of the comments on YouTube as well. And if you're watching from YouTube, give us a like, give us a follow, and keep in mind in the description below every video is a link to my Twitch, my Twitter, and my deck list. And we won the dice roll. We only have one hand land, and our hand's exceptionally mana greedy, so we have to mulligan. This hand's fine. It's probably decent versus most non-mono red hands. Leaves the plains first in case for some reason we cycle to cast out, which is pretty unlikely, but there's like some chance of it. There's some decks that we'd cycle it versus. For like example, if he led with a blue-white land, we'd just go ahead and cycle to cast out. So it's a Spire Bluff Canal. The only decks that I know of that play Spire Bluff Canal right now that are very popular are Teamer. And I've come to realize recently that my Game 2 and Game 3 match versus Teamer are miserably bad. Need to figure out how to fix the Teamer match. Now that they're playing Spell Pierce and Negate, I'm having lots of issues. Used to it was you beat them unless they draw 2 negates in their top 20 cards, which is fairly unlikely. But now where they have 4 negates and 4 Spell Pierce, well, up to. Like, that was the Jabber list. Most people copy Jabber. But now they have access to all of that. Things get a lot worse. So this is probably the Primal Amulet deck, which means we probably have 0 chance to beat it. They just have way too many hard counter spells. It's like the Zach Elsick, Caleb Durwood deck. I don't know who built it. Those were the 2 people I saw watch it or play it though. What's unfortunate here is like we still have to counterspell to cast out while we can, or to Azcanto while we can. We have to cast out the Azcanto while we can, which lets him unstop and play an amulet. And we can't beat the amulet either. But like we can't beat the Azcanta either. So just kind of hope he doesn't have it. And we're kind of fortunate he did not have it. It's kind of hard for them to kill us as well. Wow, he missed a land in the top 4 again. That's no good, homie. Alright, we're going to start with an op because we might hit a counter spell here. Go ahead and put that one on the bottom. If we don't hit a counter spell, we're going to go ahead and Glimmer, but we did hit the counter spell, so it's not that easy to disrupt it. But I mean, like it's kind of hard for them to beat us, and it's kind of hard for us to beat them. But the problem is, for us to beat them, we have to be tapping 7 mana. So it makes it a lot easier for them to interact with us than it is for us to interact with them. So this is kind of an interesting spot. We can counterspell this, and where he's a bit mana screwed, it feels like it's a reasonable thing to censor, but then again, he still has 6 cards in his hand going to 7 cards, so like, counterspelling it doesn't feel like it accomplishes much. But our censor doesn't really get better in this match, ever. Odds are we're going to cycle this farmland at the end of his next turn. He's just going to resolve another draw spell, but that's fine if that happens. Saheeli. Alright, so I don't know what he's playing, but that card's actually pretty good versus us. So maybe this isn't the Zach Elsick type deck? Well, we drew the answer. So I guess that's good. He put on top, so it's probably clearly a land. So there's some kind of Jeskai deck. And it looks like their kill condition is probably Gear Hulks if they have Saheeli, so that gives us a lot better chance. They hit land there. Hey JJ Still, what are you into, bub? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Alright, well, at least I can get a Gear Hulk. Darth Butt Plunder. Yeah? Maybe they ninja unbanned it and I just don't know. That'd be hilarious, by the way. He just like Guardian comboed us because there was some kind of sweet moto bug. Gleam Mox was legal in Vintage for a while, so I wouldn't put anything past him. So him just drawing a bunch of lands right now isn't something that we thought was unlikely when we played the Glimmer how we did, but alright, we'll keep the approach. Wonder which one of those cards is more important to resolve. I kind of just want to play the Fumigate, or I kind of just want to play the Azcanta rather, but whatever. We'll let them counterspell this if they want. If they don't, we get to ride a little 7 down here. Alright, so they're getting their cast out back. Do they want their Saheeli or do they want their search? They want their search. Have I ever accidentally bottomed an approach? Accidentally, no, but I've put them on bottom intentionally before. You go for your deck pretty quick, especially if Azcanta. What are we getting slapped with here? Yeah, I've not been a fan of the Grixis decks either, but alright, so he's tapping a lot of mana for something. Something with X in it too. Is this just like a giant walking ballista? Oh no, he's an approach from the Second Sun deck as well. That's interesting. Alright, so now we know that he's an approach from the Second Sun deck. Let's read this card a little closer. This doesn't get approaches, does it? So he's got Gearhulks in his deck as well, I guess? So we're at 6. Yeah, a lot of people are very down on Walk the Plank because it's a sorcery, but I think it's still like almost a must play. I really think you need some kind of 2-mana removal spell in those decks. If you're heavy blue, I guess it can be if you're heavy red, I guess it can be Lightning Harness, but it seems like the red's just been a splash lately. It doesn't seem like they've been heavy red at all. Hey, Boot, what's up, man? Just in time to watch us potentially get, So he drew a card for his turn, he put a card in his graveyard, and he's drawing a card here. So we know it's 4 cards down for him. Potentially watching us get beat by approach is what I was trying to say. So he gets to flip his Azcanta next turn. And we don't. I think we still use this. We'll take the Censor. Doesn't really do much, but we'll cycle it. The Censor's kind of cool in a way because it would give us the opportunity to do the search, except for the fact that we're drawing approach for the next card. So, like, we kind of have to keep the approach. No, we will not put you in our graveyard. Could try to mill our opponent's approach, but that doesn't seem great. Letting them just put it in their hand seems pretty bad too, though. So we know their first ass Canto draws that approach no matter what. We still know it's 2 cards down. What's unfortunate is they can pay for a Supreme Will next turn. And we can't. Hmm. No, we're not going to be able to pay for a Supreme Will. Do I put a farmland in our graveyard? Nope. We want all the lands we can get at this point. Like, we have just like this very, very weird game now. So because of the glimmer, we can't even try to use this in response because he still has this up. The next turn we'd be able to pay for 1 Supreme Will. And they picked up a center? Well, we can pay for a censor, I guess. So he's just going for it? And double Supreme Will be enough for us, I guess? Like, we can even pay for a negate and a spell pierce here? Alright. 3 days off? Does that mean you're going to be streaming a lot, or do you have any sweet plans? How are you going to be rocking your 3 days off, sir? I think opponent jumped the gun there. He was ahead on mana. He had the first Ascanta flip. Like, I feel like he could have buried us in cards. But what do I know? So typically I like bringing these cards in versus the straight mirror. But where he's playing the Jeskai build of the mirror, I'm not sure what all cards he can have. So we definitely take these out. We normally take out some number of these 8 cards depending on how we think they're sideboarding. For the last couple of days, I had been taking out like just 4 and 4 or whatever, but he's already showed us a Healy, so it's a pretty safe bet that he's going to be able to. Like, he's probably playing Torrential Gearhulks. He's probably not playing Cats. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it yesterday in our small sample size. So I'm not really sure, but they showed us Sahili rice. Slap myself, maybe I can talk. I agree. I feel like the teamer's a little bit better. Kentucky's a pretty place. What part of Kentucky are you going through? I kind of just want to take out the sensors. I'm probably just going to take out these cats on the draw. Again, used to you really needed the cats as a good win condition in this match, but I believe the addition of Vascanta makes this match winnable with just approaches. We're going to keep this hand. We have an approach and we have a bunch of lands and he mulliganed, so it's a pretty easy keep. I'm starting to think that Ops might be the next card that's cut out of this deck. Well, he's down to 5, so he's just going to have mana trouble 2 games in a row, potentially. I mean, he doesn't have mana trouble yet, but I live in a place that you're probably not going to be anywhere near, and unfortunately, I also don't drink. I'm a 400-pound nerd. No drinky for me. We do have a cool little shop, though. Please no Ascanta. He's tapping mana. That's an Ascanta. Rip. Alright, let's draw our Ascanta. That's not an Ascanta. Actually gonna get rid of that thing. JJ still, I'm thinking about farming market and more Ascantas are the things that are like jumping out to me. Like I've not super thought that far ahead, but those are the cards that are like jumping out in my mind. Of the cards that I want to test next. I want to try 2 farm markets and I want to try a third Ascanta. We're trying the Gideons again over farm a market this match or this tournament. This art was 6 cents. The other art's like at $2 or something on Moto. Or was at the time. I don't know what it is now. Get that back up there. Yeah, it's $3.17 now. I paid 6 cents for mine. We're good to go with these. Yeah. Alright, let's start killing our opponent. It's probably better to actually not try to kill our opponent and to just try to get this thing big enough that that it survives one hit from a torrential Gear Hulk, but I like living on the edge. I'd love to resolve this cast out before it's too late. Really? Alright, that's a card. Sahili Ra. I guess we can try to counterspell it. Seems pretty impactful and our cast out's already taxed. That does let him flip Ascanta next turn though, so top. Whoops, that's the wrong button. I have not saw him. It's probably Googleable. I bet you Robbie would have 17 links to it. So I have to throw this cast out this turn. I don't really want to throw it this turn, but like trying to deal with this before it flips is way too relevant. So just have to hope he doesn't have a 2-mana counter spell or a spell pierce. Feel pretty good if he doesn't. Friday Night Magic tokens promo. I'll find you a link. Oh wow, he brought in these. Rip. There you go. Just scroll down on this website. And for those on YouTube that are looking to what we're talking about, these are the Friday Night Magic promos. Got a pirate and a treasure, a dinosaur and a treasure, and a vampire and a treasure. So he resolved an approach. Gotta pop this back up before I forget. But he's hellbent. I mean, they're kind of cool. They're not as cool as like getting a fatal push or whatever, but they are still pretty cool. Like, I can't say bad things about them. I'm pretty excited to get them, actually. I love tokens. Alright, so I guess we'll start with this. I'm actually exceptionally happy that he's doing what he's doing right now. I guess that depends on where you're playing, right? Like different Friday Night Magics have different systems. Our Friday Night Magic is just a Swiss tournament, and 100% of the entries go back to prizes. Hey, Ring Soda, what's up, man? I guess we take this. This is the one that makes them have to interact with us instead of us having to interact with them. And we'll go ahead and cycle this too, since we're not going to be able to use it next turn because I'm just untapping and slamming an approach. Take the cast out for backup in case he draws a cast out or something for our Gideon. Yeah, that's the best part about Friday Night Magic's hanging out with friends. Hey, thank you for following in, Boss Andy. Appreciate it, man. In Boss Andy in the house. I'm curious, was the teamer list you were playing the one from the PPTQ? So I don't think opponent knows what Gideon does. That's kind of unfortunate that opponent didn't know what Gideon does, but it's kind of odd. Is that a Moto bug? Oh, otherwise. Wow, I didn't realize that you didn't gain the 7. That's kind of interesting. I did not realize that's how that card worked. So where this card resolved and they were supposed to win the game and the Gideon stopped them from winning the game, it didn't gain them 7 and put it back in their library. Which I assumed it would. Like I obviously knew we didn't lose the game, but for some reason I thought he was going to gain 7 life and put it back in his library. Actually curious if that ruling's right or if like Moto's just bugged. Yeah, I really want to try that deck. I like the idea of having 1 or 2 hostage takers over Bristling Hydras. They seem pretty insane to me. Those Scarab Gods, having 2 of them in the main deck, whereas a lot of the older teamer builds only had 1 of in the main deck, seem pretty relevant to like Scarab God just takes over games. Yeah, Mr. Nanope, yeah, I understand that. Like, sometimes the price payouts are bad. It just depends on where you live. Like ours isn't too bad. We normally get about 12 to 15 people all paying $5, and then that much store credits given out, so you can get like packs or cards, or it's also a comic book and a video game store. So like you or board games, you have like a lot of options of what you use. I don't know that that's wrong. Like that card seems so good. I think two's probably the max you can play main deck, but a third in the sideboard doesn't feel very bad at all. All right, well this hand's kind of interesting. So we're a 25 land deck. So that means we have 24 lands. We get a draw step, and a scry. And beyond that, we have roughly everything we want. I think this is an example of a hand that's keepable with 1 land. Like it is borderline. Yeah, I don't think I would spend $40 on them, but like I'm sure Andy already has whatever he wants. We're gonna try this hand. I think the math says it's fine because these cards are so powerful in so many matches. I do keep a lot of land light hands. The opt gives us like the scry and a draw though, which is why I think it's okay to keep. Hey, we got there. So opponent led with Swamp. There's not a whole lot of decks that lead with Swamp right now. It's probably like Megaphone's little black-green deck, or black-red deck, but then again, he didn't play a 1-drop or a 2-drop, so that makes it very hard to be that. You keep saying luck, but like, that's not that unlucky, right? Or that's not that lucky, I mean. Like, it's really just not that lucky. There's 53 cards in the deck. We had 24 hits. Between a draw step, and a scry, we have a sample size of 3 to hit 1. Like, this is going to be well over. It's going to be a very high percent. So, like, it's not that lucky. Like, that's just math if I think 2 lands is fine. And I don't think I have to hit my 3rd land until probably turn 4. Like, as long as we hit the first land, the Effer Meltdowns are good versus so many decks that we can miss the 3rd land drop on turn 3. So, like, we're 84% chance to hit that one first land. Hey, thank you for following Migo5181994. I believe you make the lucky 1300. You still count on your fingers. You make follower number 1300. Thank you very much, man. Woo, 1300. So opponent doesn't have another drop. So is this the Herald of Anguish deck that Zach Elsef played or whatever? Sorry. Alright, well, it's pretty easy to scry our land now. We'll keep literal nothing but a land. Fumigate, a Gideon, and an approach go to the bottom. That's good things to keep in mind. Yeah, I didn't look at his deck list, but like I know he was playing some kind of improvised deck with like it's got a Pia and a Scarab God in it, and Herald of Anguishes I think were his big cards. Have I considered Chardacois course over Glimmer? Um, that's not something I'd considered. No, I don't think I would want that. Like, I'm not even maxed out on ops right now. I think I would max out on 4 ops before I'd play a Chardacourse. I think the build we're playing tonight has 2 ops. But yeah, I think I'd want to max out on all 4 ops before I'd play Chardacourse. Glimmer, Glimmer's powerful because of the double scry, like, and being an instant. The double scries and the instants and stuff like that let you redraw your approach so well. Chardacourse is a very good card, but if I'm not getting the attack trigger out of it, I don't think I want it. Actually, I have to read this card. I don't know what all it does. At the beginning of your combat each turn, target artifact you control. So that's forever, and that's 3 turns. So he's going to get 1 token if we let it resolve. Won't let it resolve then. We already had to cast out for it, but let's draw 2, discard 1, but we rarely want to discard a card. But we don't have any more counter spells, so I guess opponent's going to get to resolve whatever he wants this next turn. We're just going to look for lands. That's not a land, and that's not a land, so whatever land we get, we're just going to slam. Yeah, it would be better versus the mono red decks, for sure. Like, a draw 2 is better, or 2 mana is better than 4 mana versus the mono red decks, but versus all the little mid-rangey, like, teamer decks, and versus all of the slower control decks, I think the instant speed being 4 mana is more relevant. If I had any creatures to ever get the kind of radish ability, I would be all about that, but I think we're going to hold the cast out. He's got Tezzerets, he's got Scarab Gods, he's got a Herald of Anguish that I guess I don't really care about, but he's got to have some kind of play. They don't have that many removal today. They just have some like Fatal Pushes and Metallic Rebukes. So he probably just drew a billion Rebukes then? Alright, I give up. I'm cycling this. If we had 7 mana, I'd probably play around a Rebuke, but where we don't have 7 mana, I'm just going to go ahead and slam it. Don't want either of you. Alright. We'll continue to draw every glimmer in our deck and be happy. What could he be holding to still have 7 cards? Just a bunch of Herald of Anguishes? Sunscourge Champion is a good card that I have considered playing. Like, maybe we could retool the deck and do that. But, like, those cards, again, like, I think they're only good versus mono red. And I'm much more worried about beating the mid-range green decks, because I think the Sultai deck and the Energy deck with Scarab Gods, I think, like, they're just better in general. It's kind of like to draw an Ascanta. That's not an Ascanta. That's also not an Ascanta. Is that Glimmer 4, or is that just Glimmer 3? That is Glimmer 4. Hey, thanks, Darfbutt. You have a good night too, man. And thank you for the well wishes. Kinda do want to play around Metallic Rebuke now. We'd just be discarding a card going into our next turn anyway. Do you have a list up, Blue Spirit, that we can see? To see how you've retooled the deck? Reminds me, I need to update our results. What did we beat last round? Oh, we beat another approach deck. A Jeskai approach deck. Alright, well that's good enough to try to counterspell, so let's go see if we can find a Censor or a Supreme Will. Or a Cast Out. Just some kind of answer to it in general would be nice. None of those are answers to it. Well, that's a problem. Well, it's a Cast Out, I guess. We seem to be getting nowhere and getting there fast this game. I didn't pay attention to all of our scries, but we've put at least 6 of the cards on the bottom of our library, so we're like 23 cards deep at the moment, give or take. Yeah, that's fine. We'll discard random planes and then just fumigate on our next turn. What is the dark mode? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. And an appearance? What's that do? I have no idea what that is, man. Sorry. Lifelink whenever an artifact enters the battlefield. Scry? Sure. Scry away. How do you set it? Maybe it's over here? No. Do I care enough to fumigate for just stopping him to scry? Probably not. Can't imagine that I would. So we know we have like 3 approaches somewhere in the next 20 cards. That's a real card. He gets another scry. Wait, what's this? Check my Facebook. Let's pop up the link that Blue Spirit sent us. And by the way, hello Blue Spirit. I don't know if I've saw you before. So, first of all, I'm going to pull the deck list over here for the people on YouTube to be able to look at since they can't click the link. And now that they take a screenshot, and then we'll pull it back over here and check it out. Our Revelations. Settle the wreckage, fumigate. So you just have like a billion rafts. The Sunscourge champions out of the board. How have your results been? $24 lands. A full 4 field of runes though. That's pretty sweet. Hey Mark, what are you into, man? Yeah, like milling people out's a real thing. Like a lot of people disrespect it, but that's the entire one of the not the entire reason, but a large reason that we're running 3 rivulets as opposed to 2. And we've hit quite a few, but it happens. Not that big of a deal. 26? Oh, there's the 2 down here with the Revelation and the Fumigate. I see them now. My bad. My bad, man. I'm blind. I think rivulets are a pretty big deal. Yeah, I guess I'm willing to let him scry again. I'm holding these planes in case he resolves another Herald of Anguish, by the way, so I have something to discard that I don't care about. We already have enough lands to pay for like 2 Metallic Rebukes on top of a approach. I should probably listen to his interview, or maybe have at least like watched him play a game or something. I like it. You can't go too wrong with 9 rafts in your deck. Hey, this could be anything, even a boat. It's the last Supreme Will in our deck. We've already gone through all 4 Glimmers. We do know all 3 approaches is in like the next 16 cards or something, though. Nice, nice. What are you doing in Lexington? work. We're like family. So we now know we have very few approaches that we're drawing to. So we've got 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We need 16 to play around 3 of the rivulets. Or sorry, 3 of the metallic rebukes. So not going to worry about that. We'll just play around the 2. Sounds good, Mark. So we know it's 6 cards after that. Now we know it's 2 cards. So after our draw step, it's the top card of our library. If we hit a scry, we can go for it. Oh, I guess it's the top 2 cards then. That's kind of neat. So if he counterspells this one, we get to run it back next turn. So he did have 3. Or he's wasting time, I'm not sure which, but... Oh well, we get to draw another next turn, so that's fine. Might have to play a smidge faster this next game. Did a lot of talking and like lifting Scarab God. I think that's a 1 of in their list. They out of their sideboard, they're probably going to have 4 negates on top of the rebukes. This could be pretty hard to win like that. And we know what this card is, so... So we did it, boys. Yay! Sorry. Oh, well, the matches tonight have been pretty long. Alright, so this is very likely the Zach Elsef's list. I don't know their exact 75. But we saw that he showed us Countryman Kingpins. He's got some Herald of Anguishes. They're definitely going to have Maverick Fopters. So I think it kind of makes our tokens a little less good. I don't think besides Tezzeret that I really care about counterspelling their equipment and stuff. It's like these are the cards that I'm pretty highly considering, even though him killing these or counterspelling those is pretty bad because of Metallic Rebuke. Or not Metallic Rebuke, but Scarab God being able to get back his negates and stuff. Like that's a fairly real thing. But I don't think I want to lose the meltdowns because of Scrap Heap Scrounger, and like it's just good on uh any threat to like buy a turn or two. They're not super aggressive though, so I think I want the cats. I'm standing back here in my mind debating on whether I want these negates or not. That's why I'm taking so long right now. Like it's the negates are such a weird issue. The Settle to Wreckage seems less good than normal. I'm gonna get rid of the ops again because again we're mostly just like testing out builds that aren't running, or I'm sideboarding out the ops more than I would normally because I'm trying to like figure out in my mind whether I even want the ops. Really don't know what to sideboard out. Let's go for one meltdown. What do we got going over here? I have a pre-release hostage taker, pretty in foil. You might want to sell that ASAP. If you enjoyed this deck, if you enjoyed the stream, and especially this deck, come to Rob's House of Commerce and purchase a playset of Approach the Second Sons as well as a new shiny foil. Well, if you're gonna spam your stuff, you should at least spam the link so people know what you're talking about. But yeah, we'll go ahead and mulligan. We'll keep. We have our best card. Um, that's probably good enough to keep. His hand's kind of slow, and being able to use that on turn 3 and turn 4 and stuff's probably good enough. I've had several people lately tell me they need another approach, Rob. I've told them all to go to your house. Hey, JJ. I like how now I'm welcoming you back to the stream, even though you've been here for a while and you've been talking. But it makes me happy to see you here, so I have to just keep saying welcome back. So I feel like this match is going to be a little hard post board because they have up to 8 rafts now. Do you need 2, Corey? Ricky assured me that you did not need any. He said, I picked those up on release week. I knew that card was good. I'm always good at knowing the best card in a set. Sorry, I have to quote Ricky whenever I can. Yeah, I don't know what's been wrong with the lag. I've changed nothing on my end. The lag's felt like it's been like 45 seconds to a minute the last couple of days. Hey, I have to read you. Alright, well, we're not putting you in the graveyard, but maybe he will. It's kind of cool, though. It puts 2 artifacts out there at once for the Herald of Anguishes. Or, like, in this situation, it even turns on a Metallic Rebuke. So, every single card in the deck other than a land gets put in the graveyard right now. We will not put a Glacial Fortress in our graveyard. can't try to counterspell that. That's too good. Opponent has a pretty good hand, too. So if I'm not able to counterspell anything this turn with a Sensor, I'm probably just going to go ahead and cycle the Sensor. Since we're hoping to cast Glimmer on the following turn. And we really need to hit a land. Opponent's kind of explosive permanents, though. He has more than double our permanents in play. Let's go ahead and cycle the Sensor then. Do we cycle the cast out as well? We really need to land. Yeah, alright. We'll cycle the cast out as well. Really need to land. Alright, so what do we do here? Put a plains in the graveyard? Nope. We want all of our lands. It's kind of nice that we're going to be able to Glimmer at the end of their turn and like Fumigate on our following turn. And if he happens to have the first counter spell, then we have access to a second Fumigate. We have a reader, folks. Choose any activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Okay. So I guess he's going to target Search for Azcanta, but that's fine. I kind of want to wait the Glimmer to the end of their turn because the Glimmer gives us more information on what we may or may not keep. Like, we're putting both cards on the bottom if one of them's not a land, but like, if one of them's a land and one of them's a marginal card, then the Glimmer gives us a lot more information in that regard. It's kind of odd. He knows we have double Fumigate and he's not going to leave up a Wrath for the Herald that he apparently has. Alright. Well. F6 value. Snap bottom anything that's not a land. Until we get a minimum of one land. So what do we discard here? Kinda think it's fine to discard one of the lands. I like every other card in our hand enough that I think it's fine to discard a land. The Search for Azcanta is going to be able to find us lands pretty quickly anyway. Yeah, we'll put that in our graveyard. We're going to be tapped out anyway, and it gives us the opportunity to be able to flip Search for Azcanta next turn. I'm kind of trying to avoid putting the Kitty in the graveyard for the reason that they have Scarab Gods in their deck, and I kind of want it to be a last resort card. And I don't think I have... the flip is a May, yes. So what do we got going on here? Farmland in our graveyard? Nope. We want the land, so we'll say no to that. I'm just going to slam the cat now. He could easily have Metallic or Rebuke here, but I value the Gideon more than I do the cat. And I kind of want to get counter spells out of his hand because we know we're playing an approach next turn. There's very few things that would make us not play an approach next turn. Like Scarab God's the only thing I could think of, and then we'd have to draw exactly cast out to still not play approach. The fact that he's tutoring for a land probably means this is a Scarab God, or maybe it's the could be a Maverick Thopterist as well. So what do we got here? Plains to the graveyard. Definitely putting the plains in the graveyard. Are we flipping this? Are we flipping this? Probably not. I don't think we're casting the search, so I don't think we're flipping it. We're kind of in this an awkward game state now, where like his negates can actually win a game from here. Sweet, he didn't make us discard a card, so at least we got that going for us. Yes, we'll put that one in the graveyard. I guess no, we won't flip it again. And I guess if we flip it again, we can pay for a Metallic Rebuke. So we'll flip it this time. For the sole fact that it can pay for a Rebuke. This doesn't really accomplish much. Except for letting him not be able to get back to Herald to one turn. So we can still discard the Rivulet now. Sure. It's a cat. I guess if I have to play one, I'd rather play this one. There was already one cat in our graveyard, so. I think I messed up the turn that I didn't play the Rivulet over whatever land I did play. I got a feeling this game's pretty close to over anyway, though. Like, he's got a bunch of cards in his hand still. They're very likely counterspells. It's going to be hard for us to beat a second counterspell this game. Especially on a shortish clock. I guess we could draw another Fumigate. I think I sideboarded out one though, didn't I? Yeah, I sideboarded out one, so there's only one left in the deck. see, you're the biggest thing. Yeah, not looking good. Seems like we have one draw step to find a fumigate to stay in this game at all. And there was nothing we could have done to save the Gideon here. We only had 3 blockers, so like even if we targeted the flyer, he could just all out swing on the Gideon and give us poor blocks. So these are coming to us. Might as well kill what we can. So we can draw another fumigate still. That's not a fumigate. So are we dead? I don't think we're dead. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh yeah, we're way dead. Alright. So I guess I could have kept my cat alive and just jump block 2 things. To stall 1 more turn would have probably worked, but I don't know. It probably wouldn't have worked because we removed as much power the other way. That's definitely lethal though. So we would have been able to play as or we would have been able to sack the Rivulet and get 1 more try at approach, I think. I guess we wouldn't have. Oh no, we would have. My math was right. But I don't think it would have resolved. Alright, so this match is weird. The cats probably just aren't good enough. Feels like the cats give them too much of an opportunity to beat us. So this is how our deck looks pre-board. I don't think I want to put the cats in. He didn't seem aggressive enough for us to need the cats. I think the same thing kind of almost applies for the Gear Hulks. If he kills them, he can get his negates back off of his Scarab God, but it is a 1 Scarab God list, so. So I think I'm going to try the Gear Hulks this time. I think I actually want some number of negates and Jace's defeats as well. Negate's probably the better of the 2. So his only blue cards that matter are his counter spells and 1 Scarab God. I don't think I want a Jace's defeat for just those. I probably don't need all these fumigates if he doesn't have as many creatures in play. All 4 negates is just too many. We only want 1 or 2. So what's the last card to take out? Maybe the Supreme Will is just better than the Ops. Let's try this. We have to play a little bit faster. I think we had like 7.5 minutes left on our clock. So yeah, we'll play first. This hand's a clear keep. We have our cast outs now, which is the answer to Scarab God, which is the only card that I really care about in this deck. The Herald of Anguishes and the Tezzerets are also annoying, but like they're not annoying like the Scarab God. He probably has Scrap Heap Scroungers too, which are kind of annoying. We have too many land drops to cycle a cast out right now, so we'll just keep the cast out. Good chance that I Supreme Will most reasonable plays here. He can have that one though. I just want the F6 value. Like I put that on top of it and we couldn't click anything. So now we have 3 cast outs. We might cycle one of them. Thank you for following, Surge Glock a lot. Glocks a lot. Appreciate it, man. Oh wow, so he's got Duresses. So he's not playing Zach 75. A high chance I cycle at least one or one cast out on this turn. I feel like we're pretty far behind already. But that's mostly because our hand's super weak. That didn't improve it any. Sure. Nice duress. So do we have to cycle this other cast out? Like these things end the game really quick. We got to get through counter spells at some point. So I feel like we need more spells that matter. We hit another cast out, but I guess we'll hold it for a turn. So that's all 4 of our cast outs. That's a good one. That puts us on a 3-turn clock, I guess? But he only has 1 card in hand, so. Better to cycle a sensor before we cycle a cast out. Guess we'll cycle the cast out too. Gotta have something. Rip. Alright, so you're saying we got a chance. Depending on his hand, but. Cast out and a fumigate would, or sorry, a fumigate and then a gate would probably be our best 2 draws here. Down to 6. Oh, we don't want either of those. Search for Azcanta. You're going to be no help right now. So we've looked at 24 cards so far. 13 of them have been lands. Rip. So if he has a negate, we just lose. it's just one metallic rebuke, we don't lose, we have outs. Put a Supreme Will in our graveyard. Yeah, we'll put a Supreme Will in our graveyard. And we'll flip this thing, which is a Supreme Will. Alright, well. Can draw the Settled Wreckage? So he's only going to attack with one thing, but... Or maybe he just attacks with them all, who knows? Like how we lost a full minute of our clock on that turn. If he's got multiple counter spells, we can't win. Yeah, he had multiple counter spells. It's unfortunate. I feel like we got rather unlucky both game 2 and 3, but I don't like how I played game 2. I believe this to be a good match. But it may not be. What was this guy playing? I don't remember this match. I remember playing a Jeskai approach player. What else did we play? So this was the Jeskai approach player? What did we play round 1 then? Does anybody know what we played round 1? Oh, the cats. Sure. Whatever. My bad, guys. Sorry about that. I wanted to update the stats, so I had to check real quick. So, let's see. We lost to Grixis Improvise. And we beat a green white kitty deck. So save. Alright. So everything's updated. Wow. We lost like 12 players during that last match. Or 12 viewers. So moving on to round 4. We have to snap mulligan. We have no lands. It's like we didn't shuffle well enough from last game. We'll keep this hand. We'll keep a land on top. We certainly need lands. So this hand's pretty good. I think we ran kind of poorly last game, but that deck's better than people give it credit for, I think. Mono red? Alright, well we probably lose this round too. Our deck's not good versus mono red in my opinion. We're currently 3-2 total versus mono red, but every match has felt like a literal miracle that we've won. Hopefully the Gideons improve it some. We do have a sensor to like nail a Karl Zev, which is nice. The Gideon's very good. Hopefully the Gideon swings the match some. Okay. So if we were on the draw, we would have just got roasted. Still not close out of the woods, though. Untapped land would be a very quality draw. Oh well, that's kind of an interesting one. That's not an untapped land. Alright, well, let's start with opting looking for a land. Keeping nothing but a land here. I don't care what it is. Unfortunately, I think I need to play this. I would like to hold the sensor up for either a Hazoret or a Chandra, but right now our primary concern's land, so Hazoret and Chandra are just going to be future problems. Even a lightning strike kills this thing now, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just want to draw 24 lands. We flood out as much as we as much as we get mana screwed, we flood out too. Like I don't think I want a 26 land, especially if like Ascanta's in the deck and Ops. If we cut the Ops, maybe we'll go to a 26 land. But as long as there's still some number of Ops in the deck, I think this is kind of fine. Put a Rivulet in our graveyard. Why no? No, we will not put a Rivulet in our graveyard. Alright, so we have a Settled or Wreckage here. It's kind of weird because like if I use it on this, he just won't attack with this, and we kind of want this one off the board more than anything. But I still think I have to use it on that. That's unfortunate. Now you can kill the Gideon even with a Sun-Scorched Desert and a Ramian app. I don't really care where they're going, I guess. We just use it on him. So hopefully it's not Chandra here, because if it's Chandra, he can kill the Gideon, and we have to cast out the Chandra, which would leave him with the Dino. Hey, Flame Guts, what are you into, bub? If he just doesn't play anything, I guess that's good. If he plays a Hazoret, that's fine because we have a cast out. Just Chandra is what we don't want to see here. That's reasonable as well. Put a Meltdown in our graveyard? Sure. We need lands. Man, all you people in work. Ooh. Just ooh on work. So we can flip the Ascanta next turn if we want to. F6 value. Another cast out's a good one. post-combat glory. Put a planes into our graveyard? Sure. I want to start using this guy's ability as quickly as I can, so planes in the graveyard's fine. I'd rather fumigate than use the cast out. I'd rather save a cast out for a Chandra and or a Hazoret, so hopefully he doesn't have a Chandra and or Hazoret. Okay, Earthshaker's not too bad. We'll take 4 damage from the Earthshaker or whatever and probably use our Azcanta as opposed to using it. Yep, not going to use the Fumigate. This thing just comes back even stronger if we do. See what opponent plays here. Alright, well, I guess we're taking more damage than I want. Certainly not going to take the 5. Did plan on taking the 2 so we could use the Azcanta, but yep. So we're at a virtual 10. It's probably worth using it now because we could hit Gideon. Oops. Right, so we have to tap this one, and this one then. Could hit Gideon. Or we could hit an Effort Meltdown that we kind of have to take. We don't want to take the Meltdown, but our life's low enough that we need at least some kind of answer to this. And if he draws like a Glorybringer or a Hazoret, like, it prevents even more damage. Alright. Handle this problem first. So he might have drew a burn spell and he might like kill this and like buy it back or whatever, but Glimmering now because we may hit a land for the Azcanta. Or we may just keep both of those. That works too. He's tapping 4s, he's just throwing 2 at us. 2 down to 10. And he did have a removal spell for the Earthshaker, so we were right about that. Which is one of the reasons we kept the Meltdown. Sure. So we know it's going to be 6 cards after our draw step. So opponent has 2 more attack steps to deal 17 damage to us. I think we're going to steal the Fabled Game 1 from Mono Red. Do not think we would have come close to winning this game if we hadn't been on the draw. Or on the play, rather. Alright, he's done. Alright, so sideboarding. When we go to the sideboard, I'm bringing in all 8 of our white cards. And I've been toying around with how I sideboard a little bit differently. Lately, we've been trying to take out the Glimmers because they're just way too slow. We've also been cutting out the search for Ascanthus and one approach as well. In the other builds, I was cutting out one opt and leaving two, but where we only have two opts now, I don't know if I actually want to cut the third one, but I think I'm going to. I think we're going to go down to one opt. We're going to give this a try. So we went from like a blue deck with a little white to a white deck with a little blue. It's just one of the reasons our basic land count is so even. We'll keep. This hand's reasonable but slow. Unfortunately, all of our hands that don't have authority are 100% reasonable but slow. Let's try something here. Somebody sent me a picture. Let's see if this works. Sorry guys, we're gonna try something here. Somebody has made a suggestion. They wanted me to put this in dark mode. So we'll see how this looks. Might be a little easier for people to read. Yeah, that looks okay. Alright, so onward. Thank you, George. Appreciate that, man. Well, that's a draw. That's going to be a very hard draw for us to beat. Because he's going to get to draw a million cards now. While doing 3 damage a turn. So it's like a 6-turn clock, and he's going to get to draw like an additional 20 cards this game. I don't know how much of that's exaggerating and how much of it isn't. Oh. So 4 turns now with the desert. Yeah. Our opponent had what we like to call a good start. I guess we have to keep the cast out. Can't imagine a way to win this game, but it looks like we didn't need that cast out at all. He still has 2 cards in hand as well. So he can attack me for 5 down to 7? Eek. If he has a hazard, we can just scoop. That's not a hazard. It's also not good for us. So maybe the Gideon will prevent 4 damage, or he may just put 5 to our head. Either way, not good for us. Look at all these cards. Just like drawing all the cards. Well, at least Gideon did prevent 4 damage. Alright, the second cat gives us a small prayer. Like, if he hits bad with the first Beaumont, the cat could do something. He's got to hit real bad for this cat to do anything. But there is a world that the cat does do something. He didn't attack with the one card that I have to cast out. He's playing around Settled Wreckage. Yeah, well, we have to take it all. Six puts us at 5. And if his hand is absolutely miserable, maybe the cat can come back from 5? But very unlikely. Like, there's just way too high of a chance that he has something here. But there is a world where he can miss. I mean, if there's a world that you can have 3 Beaumonts on turn 2. There's a world that you can, like, just brick off the Beaumonts as well. You look away for 1 second, you come back and the chat room's changed, and we're dead AF. Wait, we were just dead on board. He could have just done 3 damage to us and used the runes. I mean, we're still dead, but he could have made sure we had no additional draw step. Is it Glorybringer and we're still just dead? Okay, is it Glorybringer and we're still just dead. But he didn't know that when he used the lightning bolt. He hadn't sacked the Beaumont yet. So opponent tried to give us a chance, but unfortunately his deck didn't help it, or didn't help us. I don't think I want to change anything for game 3. I think we just want to hope that he doesn't get a nut draw and run it back in a similar fashion. Alright, this hand's what we need. So, pop it over, play Bay. So this card would have gave us a chance last game. He is playing that little dinosaur, though. Wouldn't mind to draw 2 more of these. We need lands and spells here, though. Taking out the Glimmers might be bad. And he's got Best Creature. This card's so very good versus us. It's one of the reasons that we have problems winning this match. $22 down to 18. Hey, Silent Storm 124263. How are you, man? We're getting sent to Browntown by Mono Red at the moment. I'll always yield to that. Get that out of the way. Look for a good card. That's not really a good card. I think we need to keep the cast out for whatever his follow-up is. Alright, so we at least have a goal now. Our goal is to live long enough to cast this Approach of the Approach of the Suns. Twice. Exclamation mark deck list in chat should show you both a printed deck list and a viewable deck list by picture. There you go, bub. Alright. I don't like giving him these lands, but we do have a cast out and we do have an Effort Meltdown. So worst case scenario for us now is like if he has a land plus Chandra, because then we would have to cast out that. Oh god, I done that in a bad order. Whoops. I didn't realize his ability was still on the stack. I was too busy typing exclamation mark deck list and not paying attention. So I definitely took 2 damage that I shouldn't have. I definitely took 2 damage that I should not have taken. Rip. This is actually kind of a good draw. Yeah, that was pretty bad of me. I should be at 20 right now, and he should have an extra mountain. So we'll have to see whether that comes up or not. Well, that one's unfortunate as well. Oh, and he's got to play with it? Ooh. Things are getting bad for us, friends. So we have to like hit a fumigate plus something else? Huh. I guess we cast a meltdown on this thing? Since we're probably playing cast out on our turn? that's something that we can do, but if we do that, he just gets to the Chandra Ultimate, and the Chandra Ultimate can't be Gideon emblemed. I wonder if it's okay just to attack. Like, can I just attack Chandra? If I attack Chandra, I take an additional 3 damage? Who's going to attack Chandra? It's probably hard for him to keep Chandra alive then. We lose 3 points of life this turn down to 15, but like, he's got to deal with a lot of things on the board now, and we have a cast out for his next big threat. If he has like a lightning strike into a Hazoret, this will be a problem. Or like an abrade into a Hazoret, just something that kills the cat into a Hazoret's a problem. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. Oh, that was good too. Now he can kill the Gideon. There's nothing we can do to save the Gideon now. And he can protect his Chandra. We're still 2 lands away. I guess we have to let him kill the Chandra. Or kill the Gideon, so that we can try to kill the Chandra ourselves. If he has another removal spell, this is horrible for us. Then again, I guess we could always draw another cat. So you hit a mountain. That's interesting. Actually kind of feels fine. Needs another removal spell to save his Chandra from the cats. If he does have another removal spell, our other Gideon's going to be very good. But either way, we get to gain at least 1 life. And he had the second removal spell. Oh, no, he doesn't have a removal spell. He's just sacking a dude. Well, that's good for us then. So a Gideon can handle whatever he plays next. We're going to be at 14 going to 11. Actually, we'll be going to 12 because of the authority. Or he may just not attack because we get to gain the 2 life off of the cat. Who knows? Who knows? So a Fumigate would do wonders now. That's not a Fumigate, but... it does prevent damage. So you put mana in this pool for something? Then he just let the mana go out of his pool. If the Gideon prevents 5 more damage, like if he has to use the runes plus the attack on it, that's fine. Oh, he had a lightning strike? Well, that's unfortunate. Also begs the question of if he had it last turn or not. So drawing another cat would be really nice. Drawing a land would be decent. Drawing a fumigate would be decent. We just have to live 7 turns. We have a pretty good amount of life. Like, we have a chance to live 7 turns. Can't really attack because he gets a free chump block. We would rather double block. I think we've played this game okay. I won't say perfectly, but at least okay. It's hard to say perfectly ever. The turn we attacked with the Gideon may not have been right, but it felt right. Okay, well, I guess we're just dead. How on earth were those the 2 cards he drew? I'm pretty sure he top decked every one of those lightning strikes how he played them. Cropper's a good one for him. Like, any non-dead card's a good one for him. Yep. I mean, we're not dead, but we definitely had to draw well. Okay, maybe we are just dead. So it's 5 cards down. Oh, wow. Well, that's a good draw. We'll attack everything with Chandra and then Fumigate, I guess. So we hit 2 of our best draws in a row. That's whatever. Just want to kill the Chandra. I know I lose both cats, but alright, we gotta live 5 more turns and we're at 19 life with a authority in play. A Hazoret could put the work to us. That's not a Hazoret. So 4 more turns. Whatever. A Hazoret's the only thing that could really beat us right now, I believe, so I think it's fine to hold the cast out. Till at least the end of his turn. Casting out Hazoret seems better than denying our draw by 1 turn. Alright, we have all the time in the world now. So we snap cast out now that he didn't have a play. If we hit a couple cyclers in a row or whatever, we can just win. So we know it's 2 cards down after this. We get one of them on our draw step. Alright, looks like he's conceding because the game locked up. But we would have drawn that, we would have cycled that, and then we would have drawn the approach on our draw step. So we got there. Seems like we run pretty well. I don't think we have to hold it at that point because we saw that he was hell-bent and a Hazoret wouldn't have been enough to beat us. So we're now 4-2 versus Mono Red, but that last game was weird. All of the games that we win versus Mono Red just feel very weird. But we locked up a pity chest, and we're going to go ahead and try to win a few more chests. If you like what you're following today, please give us a follow here on the Twitch, and look at the links below if you really liked what you're seeing. And there's a link to both our Twitter, where you'll find every deck list we play every time we go live, and our YouTube channel, where you'll find recordings of all of our streams. Also, if you're watching from YouTube, keep in mind in every description below the video that there's a link to both our Twitch chat, our Twitter chat, and our deck list. We shaved on ops for this event, and we've been purposely sideboarding out ops a lot this event, especially even in matches that we normally wouldn't sideboard ops out. But the reason that we're mainly doing that is because Gabrielle Nassif last night posted a comment on Twitter asking if it was wrong not to play opt in control, and like a lot of good players said they didn't like opt, so it's mostly a testing experience. We're mostly just testing it. We shaved down to 2, and like I said, we've been sideboarding out the ops a lot, even in matches that we would normally want them. It's just testing, trying to see how relevant they are. Hey, Kaga, what's up, man? I've missed the ops. I believe I want the ops back. I think this was a one-off. I'm pretty sure ops will be back in the next build that I play. But I'm willing to test about anything. And this event, we're specifically testing Gideon's back in the main deck. Oh no, not Mono Red again. At least he's using the Don Thompson Ode Arena lands. Alright, so this is a problem. Mono Red is a hard match, as you guys have just watched. Go ahead and get the Ascanta down, try to get some value out of it, even though it's a card that will clearly sideboard out. We're only going to take an extra 2 damage. 2 damage is a lot, but we do have to settle the wreckage. That could have just been wrong, though, because now we don't have a good chance or a good turn to play the Supreme Will. So it could just be a large mistake. Melt down the graveyard. Yes, we need lands. So we have to see what happens here. The meltdown could have been a large mistake. Because like if we have to Supreme Will something on this turn now, that's Supreme Willable, I think. Thanks, man. There's 4 other videos on YouTube currently with Blue-White Approach, and like there's some other decks as well, but thanks, man. Have a good evening. Like, sleep well. Sort of like looking for lands in all the wrong places. Might will take a Fumigate here as well. That's a pretty big hit. Well, we'll take the approach out of all of those because we don't really want the rest of the cards at all. Put a Plains into our graveyard? Probably not. We need the lands. Kind of bad shape right now. Be nice if he played like a Cropper or something and just got across the table, I guess. Do I just settle the wreckage? Yeah, sure, whatever. Field of Rune's a card that I kind of want in the deck as well. Like I think Field of Rune's pretty good. But what just happened here? Why do you tap 2 mana? Oh, he didn't tap 2 mana. That was the mana he got from Settled Wreckage. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Oh lord, I'm an idiot. Put a cast out in the graveyard. Might actually need this cast out. Nah, we'll put it in the graveyard. We're trying to flip this. Oh yeah, we're trying to flip this. You can kill their flipped Ascanthus too, which is very, very relevant. Or Legion Landings, or Ramian Runes. A lot of things you can do with it. Man, he is all about protecting this thing. He is all about protecting that thing. We really need to hit like 2 more lands in a row. You wish it, you want it to be even more broken than it is. That is so greedy. Wow. I wish it'd come out of the screen and gave me a handy every time I played it. Yeah, so we're having problems here. We're down to 6. He still has 2 cards in hand and a rune and a desert. Rip. Okay. Well, we're down to 3, and he's got 2 thingies in a desert. So we basically have to literally hit land to even have a chance. Land to even have a chance. Put a Supreme Will in our graveyard? Why, yes. Yes, we have to. That's not a land, so we lose. Right? Well, I guess we don't. Yeah, we lose. We have no out now. That's unfortunate. I felt like we were in pretty good shape, and then we just didn't hit our lands, even though we were scrying every turn. Well, we're dead to these now. There's nothing we can do about it. Maybe he doesn't draw another land to use that, but then he has 2 cards in hand, so whatever his 2 cards in hand are would be enough. Maybe he plays a creature this turn and we hit Fumigate. I guess that would be a way. No, he didn't play a creature. So, yep, we'll put a Search for Ascanta in our graveyard. No, the problem is if we have to hit, we had to live 2 turns no matter what. The best thing we could have did, I mean, maybe we could have cycled like cast out into another cycler into a land and then flipped Ascanta as well, but like that seemed like a pretty big ask. It might have been our best out though. It may have been the best out. It may have been the only out. Sure. We'll go down to 1 here. If he doesn't have anything with haste and he doesn't have a land, then maybe there's a chance. We certainly don't need either of those. Yep. He needs a land to win. We need him to have no land, no haste creature, no burn spell. Okay. Well, that was easy for him. I think this game was winnable if we'd hit the land. I don't know. Whatever it wasn't there, so it didn't matter. But all right, so let's try to win. We're gonna have to win a game on the draw to win the match. That's unfortunate. All right, so get rid of the search for Ascanthus. We're gonna get rid of these glimmers again. We're gonna shave the opt and one fumigate, or screw that. We're gonna keep the fumigate because they've been playing dinosaurs lately, and get rid of one approach. Mono Red's a hard match to beat. It's one of our harder matches. We're 4-2 against it, but every game that we've won has felt incredibly lucky. Whereas, like, none of the games we've won have we just felt like we were really in the game or anything. I don't know how to fix the mono red match either. So we'll play first. This hand's a mulligan, I think. Yeah, this hand's a keep. We will keep you. Probably scry anything that's not a land or an opt to the bottom of the deck. Actually, don't want this blue land either. Let's scry the blue land to the bottom of the deck as well. He got the scry on top, we got the scry on bottom. That doesn't feel fair. Red Rover, no Beaumont Courier, please. We might have lost last game when we played Ascanta instead of just slamming a. It might have, if we just slammed Effer Meltdown that turn, it might have been what we needed to win. That very well could have cost us that game playing the Ascanta. We took a minimum of 4 damage extra because of it that we may not have had to take otherwise. So opponent has best spell. That's always unfortunate. This and Beaumont are their best 2 non-4 mana spells. You know, I remember when I cast that. Obviously, why would you hit the desert? Why would you not hit the desert? When I cast the Ascanta, I made the comment that it was probably bad. It's too much greed because I like the card too much, I guess. Not sure what we need to draw now. We need to draw something powerful. Maybe an authority would help. Don't know how good it would be. At least the Gideon prevented 4 damage. No, the fact that he didn't have a follow-up there is exceptionally bad for us. I think 3 or 4 is right. It just happens this is the one match that it's bad in, and we played it 2 rounds in a row. Ascanta's the best card in the deck. Like, you want to draw one every game. Except for against mono red. Guess we'll prevent some damage. This game's already spiraled out of control pretty hard. I think it's fine to cycle this. He's either A, playing around cycle, or B, just playing a Glorybringer anyway, and the Meltdown can answer a Glorybringer. Alright, well, I'll play this thing. If he's got a Glorybringer, he's got a Glorybringer. The two cats can still block. May not have to land if he has a Glorybringer, so, like, at least that's useful. Oh, there's the land. Okay, it was just Chandra. Just. Chandra's good because that gives us the opportunity to draw another cat. Oh wow, he ticked up, so he has a lightning strike to go with it. Oh, he's got a Kenra to go with it. That's a weird. That's very weird. Hmm. Just attack this with everything, I guess? Save the Gideon to tick up on Chandra post combat? Worst case scenario, we get to gain 4 life doing this. No, the Azcanta has been impressive, man. It's the best card in your deck in the mirror match, the best card in your deck versus the blue black decks. It's a pretty good card if you draw it early versus all of the energy decks. It's really really poor in this particular match. Is it bad that I kind of want to meltdown on the Kenra? But that's probably terrible because he just gets a 4/4 that survives. Alright, that's fine. Whatever. So he gets to play the 4/4 next turn, but we get to meltdown it. And then we get to attack with the Gideon too. Providing the Gideon doesn't somehow die. I guess the land plus shock into Gideon dies. Oh wow, he's not playing the 4/4. He might already have a land in his hand. So a Cropper. I guess he's attacking with Gideon with most of it. Gideon, me. Alright. Well, we'll melt down this guy then. So he needs another lightning strike. If he has a lightning strike, the cat gets to live. So either of those are kind of nice. Could just have another blocker too, I guess. Yeah, he just had another blocker. That's fine. That saves the Gideon, I guess, but like kind of puts him. See what blocks he makes here. If he just throws the Kenra under the bus, there's things we can do. I have a Fumigate now too, but I'm not really going to use the Fumigate because if I use the Fumigate and he just draws a land, he just gets the 4/4 back either way. So he threw that thing under the bus. So nothing we can do to stop him from getting the 4/4 out of the grave. So he took a mountain here. Probably killed a Gideon somehow. Like how we're just fighting versus each other's walkers. Like, this isn't the type of thing you would expect in the mono red match. It just did damage to my head. Interesting. Oh yeah, the cropper. That's fine. That means we get to kill the Gideon. He can't protect Gideon now, at least. He can, however. Sorry, he can't protect Chandra. We can't protect Gideon. I'll get it right. Another cat would be a wonderful draw. Asking you shall receive. I have to send both of them at Deshandra because of he has a blocker. But it is 7 points of lifelink either way. He really needs that 6th land. He scribed 2 of them away with the Chandra. Or not 2 of them away, not scribe, but like remove 2 of them. For those who care, by the way, tomorrow's stream will probably be a little earlier in the night. Probably try to get done before VSL starts. Also, tomorrow starts the League of Legends Worlds, so my schedule for the rest of the week is League of Legends Worlds and then watching Magic Worlds at the end of the week. So our streams will probably start around 5 or 6 or 7 Eastern, somewhere in that area. Alright, so going into game 3, what did we learn? We've still not saw a dino from him. We've saw burn spells, we've saw Chandras, and we've saw all the little haste dudes. We've not really saw anything special. Not saw anything new. Potentially want the Gear Hulks, but I'm kind of afraid of Abrades. But he didn't show us an Abrade. But now he knows about the cat, which he probably knew about cats anyway. Like I feel like they all know about cats, but like maybe for some reason he didn't. Anyway, we'll just submit the deck. Don't think the Gear Hulks are good enough. It's too much of a risk when Abrade's a card. Actually, screw it. Let's get rid of this one opt and try one Gear Hulk. We're trying to see how the deck runs without ops anyway. I wonder where my cell phone is. And thanks for stopping by, Jay Dotson. I don't believe I've ever noticed you around before. Yeah, so we kind of have an interesting dilemma here. We have a couple lands. We have our best card in this match by a lot in the authority. The problem, however, lies in the fact that we only have like 8 plains, 4 farmlands, and 4 glacial fortresses. So to draw one of the 8 plains is pretty unlucky. We get literal 1 draw step to draw one of the 8 plains with like 53 cards left in our deck, which isn't a particularly high percentage. It's about 15%, in fact. It's like pretty miserable. That being said, if we don't have to have it on turn 1, that gives us an additional 8 for 16 cards to draw on turn 1 to look for the white source, which puts us only at about 30%. But then if you start calculating it into going into turn 2, we'd have the 12, we'd have 1 draw step, 1 scry, and another draw step. So we'd have 3 draw steps, which drastically increase our odds up to about 54%. Now, as everybody knows, I actually find this match to be horrible. I think this is one of our hardest matches to win. So, if this is one of our hardest matches to win, I kind of tend towards keeping the greedy hand that's kind of a coin flip if we'll even get land. Because, like, say we mulligan and say we hit the right lands, right? If we don't draw this type of mix of cards, we're just going to lose anyway. So while this hand kind of looks terrible, it's kind of like a coin flip to play an authority on turn 2. And I don't think we're going to win very many games on the draw that we don't have an authority on turn 2. Whereas, if we mulligan, having an authority and a land by turn 2, I think is a lower percentage. So we're going to keep, and we're going to realize that if we brick on land, we just lose. But, like, we're kind of like a little over a coin flip to have it, and our opponent's already mulliganed. So if we're a little over a coin flip in a bad match, I'll take it. If we knew our opponent was going to mulligan to 4 or 5 or something like that, and we didn't think we had to have the authority, we would probably also mulligan. But, like, you never know if your opponent's going to mulligan or not. So, like, it looks like opponent's going on down to 4 cards here. He's at 3 cards, so we should have probably just mulliganed. It's kind of interesting. Him on 3 cards with a scry on top can beat us. Especially if he had a turn 1 Beaumont or whatever. Alright, well, we ran really hot. This was about a 15% chance to hit. Sorry about doing that math. People have been commenting on some of my looser keeps before, and I've been trying to explain why I'm making such loose keeps now. I actually think the 3/3 dinosaur is good enough for me not to play the authority this turn and just hold up a censor. I would not censor a cropper. I would save the censor for a Chandra or a Hazoret. But, like, the 3/3 dino that doesn't let us gain lives would be good enough. I like how I said gain lives instead of gain life. So we have 1 interactive spell and we have a cast out. We're in a really good spot this game, obviously. I mean, our opponent mulliganed to, what was that, 3 or was it 4? Yeah, our opponent mulliganed to 3. I mean, clearly we have to be in a pretty good spot. Alright, so that was the reason we kept the censor, but we now have a cast out for it. And he's down to 1 card. So we'll probably let him hit us for 3 here, as long as he doesn't play a land. cast out at the end of turn. That way we can try to like still spike one of his 4-drops with a sensor. Mulligan to 3, hitting his first 4 land drops is pretty nice though. So our hand turned out being amazing. How much longer are you in Texas, JJ? Oh wow, he just had the shock, so that's pretty good. So even if he has a Chandra now to kill the Regal Caracol, we get to finish off the Chandra. Uh, have you enjoyed your time down there? I think we're gonna go ahead and cycle. Maybe we'll hit another cat. We're not likely to censor anything at this point. There's still a lot of good cards he could draw. Wow. That one's kind of interesting. I guess we'll just take the 2. Not sure what his plan is to just trade 2 for 2. I guess maybe he drew a lightning strike or something. What match was this? He's 3-1 in the league. This is his last round. I'd probably play it out if it was my last round. Because you never know. He could get lucky and hit like a Chandra. The Chandra might be able to win a game from here if we brick off. Like a Chandra into a Hazard or something. There's step 1. Yeah, like I don't think we've won this game. Obviously, we're in a great spot, but like, he's ahead on board, even with his mulligan to 3. Going to meet up with again. Huh. That's actually pretty sweet. Yep. I think Valeria jinxed us. We're like 3 turns away from losing this game now. So we have to find another cast out, and we have to find it quick. That's not a cast out. We have 2 more draw steps to find a cast out. That's a good one. Alright. Well, this is our chance to find our cast out. Not cast outs. None of those cards do anything. Alright. Well, we'll clean off the board. We've got basically one more turn to draw a cast out. Because the opponent should be able to beat us with the Chandra Ultimate. If I had a hat, I would eat it. By the way, hello, Valeria. Thanks for stopping by chat. I don't think I've saw you before, even if you did just stop by to jinx us. I mean, we still have outs. We can just hit another approach and we win, right? Oh, God. Alright, so we're just dead, boys? We're just dead, Areno? Well, that doesn't do anything. Nice dino, friend. Alright. Well then. Looks like we have one turn to draw an approach, probably. Because we know he has 2 spells in hand. One turn to draw an approach. With only 2 in the deck. Prevent what damage we can. I mean, I guess there's some possibility that he doesn't have 3 castable spells, but I find that exceptionally unlikely. He even has an Earthshaker Kenra in his graveyard. So, like, even if he has a land here, that's pretty good for him. If it was lands, he would have already played it because he's got this in the graveyard. They're 100% not lands. He's just trying to decide the best time to use them. So that's a Cropper. That one could be worse for us because now this gives us Fumigate that we can draw to gain 2 life. Yeah, it's the Don Thompson Arena lands. It's the same things Yuya Watanabe plays. Alright, so it's 5 cards away now. That seems like that's it, boys. Looks like we're going to be 1 turn shy. So all he needs is 1 lightning strike and we're dead, or 2 of any spell and we're dead. So no lightning strike, please. We know that our other approach is the top card of our library, so we just have to somehow survive this turn. Well, it was a lightning strike, so we're just dead. That was the best possible. But we kind of knew he had burn spells. We were just hoping it wasn't lightning strike. Maybe it was like a shock and then a braid or something. I don't know. That would have killed us too, but oh well. So we lost to the opponent who mulliganed to 3 when we had the Authority of Councils in play. And this is why I keep saying that Mono Red's not a good match. But we knew we were going to mill 4 cards and then draw an approach. Alright, so we're down to 4 and 3 versus Mono Red, and we're 25 and 6 with the deck. You jinxed us, man. Alright, so for a small recap of the day, we lost to Mono Red twice, or we beat Mono Red, we lost to Mono Red, we lost to Grixis Improvise, we beat a Green White Cats deck, and we beat a Jeskai Approach deck. So we had a, hello Crazy Spoons, by the way. First time I think I've saw you around. So, we didn't do very good today. We just got a nice little 3 and 2. Um, as for changes to the deck, going forward, the Gideons were pretty good today. The Gideons did a lot of work. Not having the ops felt bad. I felt like in a lot of matches that our card selection was just a little bit slow or a little bit bad. The Search for Azcanthas were again good. We got paired versus 2 mono red decks, which is where they're at their worst, but it's like still a good card in general. There's a new white X spell. I forget what it's called, but it's like an instant speed, gain double X life. I'm thinking about trying one of those in the sideboard to like really try to crawl out of games like this, but like it doesn't play well against the dinosaur that just beat us. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get to be a better streamer stuff. I really don't know what to do with the deck though. Like, ideally, if I was building the deck how I wanted to build the deck. Like, ideally speaking, this is what I want the deck to look like. I guess I don't have pharma markets. They're better in different metas. So it's kind of hard to say which one's better overall, but they're better in different metas. I think Teamer's better overall. I still kind of think Teamer's the best deck in the format. That's possible. The reason we were trying to today again is because of a Twitter conversation last night with Nassif asking if they were needed in control decks at all. Because if you got to keep in mind, in the blue-black control deck prior to Ixalan being released, they ran no illuminations and they ran no ops and they were just fine. But this is what I'd like the deck to look like. But obviously we don't have room for these extra 7 cards. So I really don't know which cards are which. Yeah, Scarab God's up to $40 right now. Like, maybe this card's better than this card? I'm not sure. Gun Supreme Will feels kind of weak because it's one of the better cards in the deck. We're just never going to have room for Slash the Talons in the sideboard with the 40s. I don't think we're ever going to have room for that card either. I feel like we're only going to have room for either these two or these two. I don't know if we're ever going to have room for both. So maybe next event we'll just cut the Gideons and try those. I also kind of want another Settle to Wreckage too. I don't know. I just put it back how it was for today at least. I don't know what the last card was. Oh, so this was the list that we were having a lot of success with. The mirror matches. In the old mirror matches, it used to come down to a lot of luck and a lot of like being able to attack with cats and stuff like that. And that was the same with all of the control decks. Like, you needed like the cat plan to beat them. But with the access to Search for Azcanta, you can just out-control other control decks now. But anyway, so that's going to be it for us tonight. I'm not actually sure what I'm going to do with the deck going forward. I'm going to have to put some more thought into it. It feels well positioned versus everything but mono red, though. Like, The mono red match just feel and mono red's strong enough that I feel like I have to fix that match. But anyway, let's find us somebody to host real quick. Let's see, Chubby Ring's back. Alright, I see who we're hosting. We're hosting Chris again today. Unless there is anybody else playing standard that I follow. Doesn't look like there's anybody else playing standard that I follow. But anyway, so take care, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. And we'll be back tomorrow like we always are. And I'm going to go get me some pizza.